Good morning, this is Clifford Sanders, responsiblejournalism.org. You know, the other day I was looking at my family and I was wondering, man, how are we going to continue to maintain these cars in our garage when the gas prices are so high? And then I think about the families who are struggling to pay food prices that have gone up. They don't have jobs because, quite frankly, the Republican Party, Bill Clinton under NAFTA, have shipped all the jobs out through outsourcing. So therefore, they're left with minimum wage jobs. And how do you pay money to keep your family afloat when you don't have the money there? And then I thought about the roofs that are over our heads in the housing market. How many of you have gotten eviction notices by now taped to your door when you came back from the store buying all this high-priced food? And then it took you by surprise, so much so, until you had a panic attack. Now, you can't go get medication because you don't have health insurance, because the health insurance is so high until you can't afford it. And now I think about all of this. And then on top of that, we can't put money into our economy for one main reason. All the money is being shipped over to Iraq. Wow. However, the oil companies in Iraq making $40 billion per quarter. And at the same time, they're not investing money into their own economy to rebuild their own country. The good old United States and President Bush and the Republicans and some Democrats have decided that's what we're going to do. So therefore, we have a quandary on our hands. We have a country whose leaders are so un-American until they have decided that they're going to ship all the money out over to Iraq because the country that they live in, that they profess to love, is not a priority. Now think about that for a minute, if you will, because these are the same people that are wearing flag pins on their lapels on their suits, claiming patriotism. No, patriotism is this. Patriotism is having soldiers coming back over because they served their country and you dodged the draft numerous times. But that's another matter altogether. But soldiers are coming back over after serving their country. Some of them don't even have limbs anymore. But for some reason, they can't get the adequate medical attention at the VA hospital. Of course, they're veterans, but they can't get the attention at the VA hospital. You want to know why? Because the budget has been cut at the VA. Therefore, the soldiers who need it the most, who has been the only ones serving their country and not their interest, need the help but can't get it. Now let's talk about the soldiers' families. Do you know how much a sergeant makes in the military? $30,000. Wow. How do you pay for a $150,000 house, a wife, a child, high gas prices? How do you pay for high food prices on a $30,000 fixed income? You have people retiring that's making more than that. Meanwhile, CEOs are making $3.5 million after they completely decimated a country. They get a golden parachute in the excess of tens of millions of dollars to leave the corporation. Wow. Where are our priorities? Now, we have a candidate that wanted to talk about all these things that I've been talking about. You see how easy it is for me to say it and you hear it? Well, you can't hear it. Really can't hear it with all the noise that's going on. The noise that is placed out front by some media outlets and the Republican Party and Hillary Clinton. What is this noise? Well, We understand that we have issues. We understand that you, the American people, are interested in hearing the issues only. However, we really need to discuss Jeremiah Wright first. We need to talk about this pastor over here first. I don't care about no pastor. I don't want to hear about what he did or what he said. Can you please tell me when I'm going to be able to get a good paying job? Will you please tell me when I'm going to be able to afford a house to live in for my family? Will you please tell me when are you going to put this thing to rest of all the oil companies bending every American over on a national scale, making billions every quarter, lighting up their cigars and having a good laugh at the taxpayers' expense? When are you going to deal with that? I'd like to know, when is the school system going to address the illiteracy problem that it has in its school, because teachers are not teaching, but you have relegated them to a point of having high test scores. When are we going to deal with all of that? And if that's not enough, when are we going to bring our kids back home so they won't continue to get their butt shot off, because we know that they're not a priority once they come back to this country? When are we going to deal with that? Oh, well, we can't deal with that right now. We need to talk about Jeremiah Wright. Well, yeah, I understand that. What you're saying to me is, by saying that I'm going to talk about Jeremiah Wright and not talk about anything else, is you are not a priority, America. I want you to hear the message loud and clear. You are not a priority. We feel as though you are not intelligent enough to be able to differentiate between a game and between issues. You can't talk about the issues because you destroyed the country. Bush cabinet, Bush supporters. I'm sorry. That's all I have. I can't talk about anything else other than that, because this is the reality of it. The last president and his administration and all of the decisions have placed us in a ditch. When are we going to get out this ditch? How can we get out this ditch when all you want to talk about is Reverend Jeremiah Wright and show 30-second sound bites and attack one candidate? My question to you is, America, have you ever wondered, does McCain or Hillary Clinton have a pastor? I mean, it seems like there's only one candidate with a pastor in this presidential race. Now, I don't know about you, but one thing that angers me the most is when you insult my intelligence. Don't insult my intelligence. Do anything else, but don't insult my intelligence. Okay? This is Clifford Sanders, ResponsibleJournalism.org. And my message to you, America, is please think for yourself, because if you don't, it will destroy you.